Welcome to a Sacred Space podcast. I'm your host, Katie Smith. If you're ready to get organized, love your body, and fully connect with your soul, then this is the place for you. Listen in as I discuss all things home, body, and soul, and how to create space in our lives for joy, love, and deep connection. Let's get started. Hello, beauties. So this is going to be like a pretty short little podcast. I just wanted to hop on here really quick because this funny thing happened today, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. So I went to my daughter's field day today, like towards the end of the year. They have this like day where they do like all these outside activities with like water and races and whatever. And so I go, and it was so much fun. The kids are so cute. My daughter's in first grade, so, you know, they're just so cute. But anyway, so, like, while I'm there, like, obviously I'm, like, looking around at all the parents that came and different things like that. Well, in my daughter's class, there was a dad that came for his daughter, and I noticed that he, like, went and stood kind of, like, way off from the rest of the people, and from like the events and stuff, and he was just like standing there like looking at his phone like literally the entire time. And I was like, what is this dude doing? Like, your daughter's over here. So I totally went into like a judgment moment. I was totally judging this dude, like, you know, how can you be staring at your phone? Like, why did you even come if you're just going to stare at your phone? And, but then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm totally judging this dude. Like, you know, why? Like, so I started thinking about it because I do that. I really believe that like life is a mirror, and it's going to like, you know, everything that you see is going to reflect something back to you that you need to see. And so I started thinking about it, and I started thinking about like engagement and connection, and like how many times a day is my daughter trying to get my attention and I'm like looking at my phone, or I'm working or whatever. Like, I'm not actively engaging with her and like, you know, honoring her wants and her needs, like in the moment that she wants or needs something. And it's not to say that like I should constantly be putting aside the things that I need to do to like, you know, hover over my child either. But what I'm really talking about is connection, is engagement, is like taking the time to show your child that you are actively engaged. And this doesn't just go for like children. This is like for relationships, period. Because nowadays with cell phones and all this stuff, like we're always just looking at our phones. Like, I know like my dad, the first thing he does when he gets up is he's just like sitting at the breakfast table, like flipping through his phone, which is really funny to watch actually, because I don't know, he's older and it's just funny. But anyway, you know, and so we're all sort of like just invested in our phones, and we're like engaged with our phones, and like all these things are happening on like social media or the news or email or whatever. But like, how much time are we really engaging with each other? How much time are we really putting into our relationships? How much time are we really willing to give to show the people in our lives that we care about them and that we are acknowledging that we're connected to them? And like recently I have been dealing like a lot with like frustration, and I feel frustration in my sacral chakra, which is like in the lower part of my belly. That's where I feel it. It's like this just horrible feeling of frustration. And I realized today, during my little morning session of truth journaling, that the reason I feel the frustration, especially in that area, is because it's showing me the lie that I'm believing, that I'm separate. And the opposite, or the antidote is a better word to separation is connection. And connection is the truth. We are all connected. We are all one. We are all from the same source. We are all children of God. We are all, individual expressions of God, and that's what we are. And we are connected at an energetic level that can never be destroyed. So the separation that we so often feel and that we so often believe in, because our world is very much based on separation. Our culture, our society is very much based on separation, and so many religions teach separation. And it's a lie. It's an absolute lie. And that lie will create terrible feelings within us, such as extreme frustration that can lead to like anger issues and like so many other issues can stem off anxiety. So many things can stem off from this lie of separation. So it really, that instant, and it's just so funny how these tiny little moments of me watching that guy, that dad, who shows up to his daughter's field day and then just stares at his phone the whole time, like me watching that, has like opened up my mind to all this stuff. So the other part that I want to tell you is like, I admitted, like, I judged this dude for that, like, for real. And then, so the other part of this is like the judgment part. So when I recognized I was judging this guy, instead of condemning myself for judging him, because a lot of times when we recognize that we're judging, we get like super guilty feeling, like, oh my God, I judged this person. Even if we feel like well within our rights to have judged them, which you never are, because you don't know what that person's going through or what their experience is. But you feel guilty. So, and you might condemn yourself. I know that I do that like a lot. So instead of like going to that place, I ask myself, okay, like, what's the truth here? And then that's sort of where all this came out. So judgment is actually a tool, just like any other like fear or any other feeling that we want to label as bad. It can be used as a tool to help you see the truth. And the truth that came out for me here was just this awareness around like, how often am I engaging? How much am I connecting? And is there something more that I need to see here? And there is, like, I can become more aware. I'm now more aware of like, okay, I do this too. Maybe I wasn't doing it at her field day, but there are times when we're at home and I'm like, I'm busy, go somewhere because I'm working or because I want to check my social media or whatever the case is. Although I'm not really on social media that often, but you get my point either way. So, so the judgment, instead of condemning myself for it, I ask for the truth. And you can do this with anything. And same with the frustration. Like, I was feeling that frustration and I recognized, oh my gosh, it's coming from this lack of connection. It was so funny that I got that message this morning about my frustration, and then like just a few hours later I'm experiencing this process where I'm watching this guy not engaging and connecting with his daughter, and I'm judging him for it, but then realizing that it was the universe giving me a sign to show me what it had told me this morning about connection. And connection requires engagement. Connection requires you to give of yourself to other people. And that doesn't mean like some grand gift. That just means attention, like, like just sharing a part of yourself with the people in your lives that matter most. Even if it's just a few minutes a day, just making time to have connection time. And I do this with my daughter every night before she goes to bed. I started doing this where we go into my room and we lay on my bed and we read a book together. She reads to me. And then we talk to each other. And I let her just tell me everything about her day and everything she's thinking and everything she's feeling. And we call it connection time. So, or I call it that. I don't know if she calls it that, but I do. But it's 20 minutes That's all it is usually, is just 20 minutes of us like hanging out for a few minutes every night to just have that connection. And I want to build on that. I want to make sure that she knows that I'm there for her. And I want to do that for all of the people in my life, because I want them to know that I'm engaged and I'm connected. And not only does that heal anything between me and another person in a relationship form, but it also heals myself within, because I'm giving myself connection. When you give connection to other people and you're taking the time to engage with them, you're giving that same thing to yourself. And so that's just what I wanted to share, my little realization today. And just remember that life is a mirror, and whatever you see, there's some beautiful truth in it that can help you and benefit you and push you further down your path toward self-healing and self-awareness, and just seeing the wholeness and completeness that already exists within you. And yeah, that's all I got. But you guys have a great day, and thank you for listening. Talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening. I'm so glad you chose to join me today. Don't forget to subscribe so you get all the latest episodes right away. And if you love what you hear, leave me a review so that more people can hear it too. You can also register for updates at sacredspacewithkatie.com/podcast. Be sure to check out my website while you're there for all the great resources and free stuff. Have a beautiful day, gorgeous. See you soon.